Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, you all know Jasmine Crockett. For those that do not know, she is United States Representative, right? She is American lawyer, politician, and she has been representing Texas since 2003, if I am not mistaken. A very big shout out to her. She is so beautiful and at the same time very brilliant. So there was a Congress, I think, when was that? Probably yesterday. And Jasmine Crockett, the queen of facts, you got to love her. And if you do not love her, you are really on a long thing. She cannot compete with her wisdom, her intelligence, and everything. She really came out and she came out correct, right? So she opened our eyes more on Project 2025. We've been hammering Project 2025. I mean, I see a lot of Black content creators hammering on them. And shout out to all of you, right? And the truth is that some people have refused to understand that Trump is also part of Project 2025. I see a lot of people in the comment section telling me that he has distanced himself from anything that got to do with Project 2025. But after watching this video, you definitely will understand that he is so much in connected with Project 2025 because Jasmine Crockett made it known that his name appeared 300 times on that book, on that Project 2025. So how do you want to beat it? Let's get into this video.
Texas.
Thank you so much. You know what? This hearing is actually the best example of what waste, fraud, and abuse looks like, because the only reason we're having this hearing is because somebody got their feelings hurt in a debate. And I don't understand why we're wasting taxpayer dollars. Next time, tell your big boy to show up and be ready to handle the woman in the room who hopefully will become the next president of the United States. Nevertheless, while we do have two amazing authors from Project 2025, which it seems like everybody got the memo, like, yes, I'm going to double down and say it's my thing, but I'm going to make sure I also say that it ain't our homeboys thing, because we know that it doesn't poll very well with the American people, because the American people are woke enough to recognize that there is nothing good in it for them. So with that being said, Ms. Perryman, I'm just curious, and this is yes or no. Is Trump's name ever mentioned in Project 2025? Yes or no? Just yes or no. I got you.
Within the document itself,
yes.
There are a number of references to the former administration.
So is Trump's name mentioned just one time?
I believe it's mentioned more.
Okay. 5 times.
I haven't counted.
Oh, okay. Well, if I told you that his name is mentioned approximately 312 times, would you have any reason to dispute that?
I don't have any reason.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's interesting that we want to try to pretend. We're not going to pretend in here. We're going to work with facts and not fiction. So I also want to talk about inflation really quickly with you, Ms. Perryman, because we've talked about it a lot. I'm just curious to know, is the inflation that we just struggled through, was that global or was that limited to the United States?
Global.
Global. Seemingly, it was attached to this thing called the global pandemic. Is that correct?
That is my understanding.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just the United States.
No.
Okay, so it wasn't just a matter of the Biden-Harris administration and the United States is struggling, right?
I think the United States actually fared better than the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah. In fact, we are. Correct?
I think so, yeah.
All right, but inflation still hurts, and so that's why we have a candidate that has an actual plan instead of concepts of a plan. Or as I like to say, Trump only has offered concepts of constitutionality mixed with coordinations of a coup. But nevertheless, we're going to move on. I want to talk about the internet really quickly, because we wanted to talk about the internet. Actually, let me talk about the border real fast, and then we can talk about Texas in this way. I'd ask for unanimous consent to emit this article from The Hill that says, Trump says, blame it on me if border bill fails.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to move on to the internet, and I'm actually going to talk about Texas, because I believe that the testimony has been somewhere around the fact that no money has actually been disputed as it relates to rural broadband. I'd also ask for unanimous consent to admit this article from the USDA.gov. USDA officials attend groundbreaking to expand high-speed internet access in rural Texas, dated March 7th, 2024, Italy, Texas.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you so much.
With respect, that was not the testimony.
Oh, I thought you said no dollars had been spent.
The largest single program.
My question is, did you not say
$42 billion.
Okay.
0 houses have been connected. There are other federal programs, including Trump-era ones, that right now are turning dirt and connecting.
Okay, so just to be clear, because I don't want the American people to be confused, because I was confused, because it almost seemed as if, considering the fact the name of this hearing is the failed policies, as if nothing had been done. But to clarify for those that are watching, you aren't saying that no dollars have been spent as it relates to rural broadband dollars under the Infrastructure Act, correct?
To be clear, for the signature effort, $42
Yes or
billion,
no? Have any dollars been spent?
not a
$1.
single person has been connected. That's
Not my question though. My question was, have any
issues. Senator Ted Cruz from
Okay,
Texas
I'm
put out
going
a
to move on.
report
I'm going to
that
move
showed
on.
that
I'm reclaiming my time at this point.
many of these bills,
I'm reclaiming my time, which means, Chairman, I'm going to
per
ask you to
location.
stop my time because the witness is not.
Are you asking him a question, or are you?
No, I'm
reclaiming
not
your
asking
time?
him a question. I reclaim my time.
All right. The chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
Okay, now I was at 41, y'all, so go back up.
We'll give
I
you
was
9
watching-
more seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. Here's the deal. You've testified a lot about the problem with the broadband rollout being diversity, equity, and inclusion. You said DEI, I don't know how many times, which is one of the issues that Project 2025 takes issue with. But it's interesting to me because I have another article from the Texas Tribune, and it actually specifically states that internet providers say they are simultaneously hopeful and skeptical about whether the incoming federal dollars will be enough to connect the most underserved Texans. Historically, other federal rural broadband funding programs have seen limited success because many companies who committed to providing broadband went into default after radically underestimating their cost. It doesn't say anything about diversity. And the final thing that I will say
Do you
is
know why
that
those
this
costs have
election,
increased
I didn't ask you a
substantially?
question. The final thing that I will say is that this election is the best example of why y'all are so afraid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because then you can't have a simple-minded, underqualified white man somehow end up ascending. Instead, you've got to pay attention to the qualified black woman that is on the other side.
So, I just been reading through it, and as I prepare to tell y'all about it, I'm like halfway through it now, and so I'm going through the highlights that I made when I first started it, and I'm just reminding myself of, wow, transgenderism. Intersectionality is apparently woke extremism, yeah. They're gonna fire unfireable federal bureaucrats, like the whole Department of Education. Like also intellectual sophistication, advanced degrees, all these other markers of elite status, they have no bearing on a person's knowledge of the one thing most necessary for governance, what it means to live well. Also, all the Yale graduates who work at the research think tank are telling you that going to school is not important. Got it. Believing in climate change is environmental extremism. Highly addictive video apps pose a danger. If you hate everyone different, clap your hands. If you hate everyone different, clap your hands. If you hate them and you know it, and your policies will show it. If you can't stand minorities, clap your hands. That's what this... Ooh-wee! Let's take a ride.
Oh my God. Have you seen the hearing today? Jasmine Crockett literally handed it to them. She always does, but you've got to see this clip. Okay, I kind of condensed down the best parts. You've got to wait until the end because the way she absolutely crushes them with this ending. Hold for 2 times, save it, come back if you're in a rush. But you gotta stay to the end.
Next time, tell your big boy to show up and be ready to handle the woman in the room who hopefully will become the next president of the United States. Nevertheless, while we do have 2 amazing authors from Project 2025, which it seems like everybody got the memo. Like, yes, I'm going to double down and say it's my thing, but I'm going to make sure I also say that it ain't our homeboys thing because we know that it doesn't poll very well with the American people because the American people are woke enough to recognize that there is nothing good in it for them. So with that being said, Ms. Perryman, I'm just curious, and this is yes or no. Is Trump's name ever mentioned in Project 2025? Yes or no? Just yes or no. I got you.
Within the document itself,
Yes.
there are a number of references to the former
Okay.
administration.
So is Trump's name mentioned just one time?
I believe it's mentioned more.
Okay. 5 times.
I haven't counted.
Oh, okay. Well, if I told you that his name is mentioned approximately 312 times, would you have any reason to dispute that?
I don't have any reason.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's interesting that we want to try to pretend. We're not going to pretend in here. We're going to work with facts and not fiction. So I also want to talk about inflation really quickly with you, Ms. Perryman, because we've talked about it a lot. I'm just curious to know, is the inflation that we just struggled through, was that global or was that limited to the United States?
Global.
Global. Seemingly, it was attached to this thing called the global pandemic. Is that correct?
That is my understanding.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just the United States.
No.
Okay, so it wasn't just a matter of the Biden-Harris administration in the United States is struggling, right?
I think the United States actually fared better than the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah. In fact, we are. Correct?
I think so, yeah.
All right, but inflation still hurts, and so that's why we have a candidate that has an actual plan instead of concepts of a plan. Final thing that I will say is that this election is the best example of why y'all are so afraid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because then you can't have a simple-minded, underqualified white man somehow end up ascending. Instead, you've got to pay attention to the qualified black woman that is on the other side, and with that, I will yield.
Oh my God, the ending of that, I just want to play it like on repeat and repeat and repeat. But I think that the part about inflation is such a good point. Every time somebody says, are you better off than you were 3.5 years ago? It's such an absurd question. I mean, 3.5 years ago, I was in lockdown. Like, yeah, I am better off because I'm not in lockdown. Yeah, I am better off because my kids are in school. Like, my kids are not doing therapy from like on Zoom. My toddler is not doing therapy on Zoom. Like, yeah, I am better off. Are things more expensive? Yes, but inflation is coming down. That didn't happen by accident. We experienced a global pandemic. The inflation that we are experiencing is not exclusive to the United States. It's all across the world. Like what? And it's just so infuriating. It's Bidenomics. Like, no, it's not. It's called, there was a global pandemic that was incredibly mishandled in the first year. And the last 3 years, we have been suffering the consequences and the cleanup of it. 312 times his name is mentioned. Everyone in his first administration has distanced themselves from him and or said that they are endorsing Kamala Harris, except for the people who have written Project 2025. Like, put 2 and 2 together, honestly. But again, like, I just want to play that ending and repeat. I want to blast it through my speakers.
So this is all I got from this video, and I love Jasmine Crockett, and I will never stop loving her. There is nothing as beautiful as seeing a black women be doing it real good. Shout out to black women, and thank you all so much for all you all do, because sometimes they refuse to see ahead of time, but you all see it, you know. Now let's get into this video. I remember that I have, like, I think since last year, I didn't start talking about Project 2025 today. If you've been following my channel, you definitely will know that I've been hammering on Project 2025 for real, right? And I remember, like, recently, I think last week, somebody came to my channel and wrote. The person said that the person said, I will stop talking. I like your channel, but it looks like I'm going to stop coming to your channel. Why? Because you are always on one side when it comes to politics, right? You are not balancing it. I actually said, it's okay if you feel like you need to leave now, probably come back when it is okay for you. It is not a problem, right? Somebody also told me that a lot of people also said that I should stop associating sham, right, with Project 2025. And my response was like, it looks like you are new to my channel. It's only a new person that will tell me that I do not know what I am saying when it comes to Project 2025. I know what I am saying. And for those that said Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025, you probably have not gone through Project 2025. I know it is hard to go through, like it's 900 and something pages, if I am not mistaken, right? But you definitely will see people breaking most of the important part down. Sometimes we just have to do research and know what it's going on. It's not all about like, running helter skelter or looking. No, you have to really read. In some cases, when I tell you that he is associated or he's connected with Project 2025, I know what I am saying. And from what Sister Jasmine Crockett said, you said his name was okay. The woman was like saying maybe 5 to 6. She said 300 and something times. And I hope those that told me that he has no connection with that, I hope you all are listening, and I hope you can hear me loud and clear. This is not coming from every other person. This is Crockett Jasmine. And if you do not know her, go and search for her name. Powerful woman. I love her. We continue, right? And like she said, I love the fact she was tackling everybody. I mean, I asked you a question and you wanted to tell me a long story. She asked you a yes or no question, right? You wanted to tell a story. Did you spend money or not? How many $1 billion did you all spend? They want to tell you story first. I love her. I love her. We continue. Now, you all already know how scared they are about DEI. I mean, this is not something new. It's something we all have seen so far play out. When we talk about DEI, it looks like, all of a sudden, they also started calling Black people DEI. Why? Because they feel like we are not qualified to even be part of that. And then all of a sudden, also, DEI also means the N-word, for those that do not know, right? So now tell me why people are scared of DEI. Now the truth is that they have seen a strong woman that knows her onion, and they are running helter skelter because, like, how are they going to survive it? I mean, you all are supposed to know the concept of politics, how it works. And then when they've been asking, what is her politics? I love the fact that she said that for next time you want to debate, don't just come up because you want to debate. Make sure you are coming correct. Make sure you make your research. Why? Because you are coming to debate an educated person. She is not the person he debated. Was not just every other person. She is learned, right? So for you to debate that, you have to also come correct and stop making everything look like somebody is maybe manipulating or somebody is something. It is not magic. She knows Kamala Harris, she knows her onion too. I give it to her. That does not mean I am endorsing her. Because one thing with me is that if I see where somebody is doing correct, I definitely will give it to you, and you are doing bad, I give it to you too, right? But when it comes to this thing, public speaking to and knowing what she wants, she is good. Now, he thought he was going to come out and meet every other person, but then it came, it was not just, and she said, did you hear what she said? Next time you're coming to debate, come out and tell us your policies, not your concept of policy. If you all remember how the debate, rolled, you definitely will see that Kamala Harris was hammering so hard on her policies, but the other one refused to. He has concept. He knows what he wants. He know this is what they said that he knows what his plan. What are his plans? Because he don't tell me that I am going to smell your brain to know what you have for us. We need to know what you have for us or what you have for my people, right? And that reminds me, before I digress, some people in the comment section are telling me to stop using we, that I am using Black, like I am talking as if I have experienced what you people experience. And you all are, the only thing I told the person is that if I say we, It means I always put myself in your shoes, even if I have never been in your shoes. And I told him that I am an extension of you all. So this is absolutely a great video. I absolutely love it. For those that keep telling me in the comment section that I hope you see this video and I hope your brain comes back. And I see some people out there like, doing all they can, like they were paid, because I do not see how somebody is out there like campaigning for something that will harm you. Sometimes I feel like some people are deranged, but no, I am not going to say that. I already said it, but I am still going to say it. Why? Because you all have the right to vote, to vote and be voted for. Some people's decisions are very laughable, but it is your decision in the end. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.